If we have not met, thank you for coming. This is going to be Intentional Networking 2.0. I have run this training, I don't know, 30 or 40 times, and it's been evolving as we go, because life gets different. The networking gets different, right? It's things that we need to pay attention to a little bit deeper. Um, when I first started doing it, we didn't have the robot interacting with everything, right? So you really could understand that you were talking to a person. Now really have no idea who you're talking to until you get in front of them, right? So the goal now is to be able to connect and have real conversations with people. Um, we are fastly moving into a world where we can't tell what's real and what's fake. So being a real person, being authentic is super valuable now, right? It used to be a time where like all of the fake stuff was like on Instagram. You didn't have to worry about it, but now it's integrated into everything. You getting text messages and emails from all of these weird people and robots and without any kind of standard. So when you are networking, the goal now is to be authentic and not just be out here dialing for dollars or just trying to talk to as many people as you can and collecting business cards and all the weird stuff that comes from it, right? So the goal of intentional networking is to get you to a point where you're connecting better, having better conversations, building better relationships, and it all flows naturally as opposed to let me talk to as many people as I can and try to sell stuff, right? So we don't want to put ourselves in that position. So if we have not met, my name is Jason Integrity. I'm a sales strategist. I have been in sales for almost 30 years now. I know I don't look it. I know I don't look it. But I've been doing this for quite a while, right? So uh um I really started understanding relationships and people when I was in the Army. Um when I remember being of low rank and it's like you still have to get things done, but you don't necessarily have the authority to tell people what to do. So you are now connecting with people, you're trying to partner with people who can move the needle in ways that you can't. So I found out very early that I was in a relationship business. Um, as I have been connecting and having conversations and getting into sales myself, that is where all of the conversation lies, right? It's not about pitching and trying to close stuff, but what kind of relationships are you building? Who trusts you? Who can vouch for you? Who do you have a relationship with? Who can get that appointment when you couldn't get it on your own, right? And how can we do this together? More importantly, who can you give that same energy to? So the more that I've been doing this, the more I understand that we have to be intentional about what we're doing, as opposed to just having a bunch of random conversations where we're saying the same elevator pitch to everybody. And number one, that's going to get redundant and drive you crazy. But number two, you're ruining your brand along the way because now you're known as the elevator pitch person, and nobody will trust you, and everybody's just can recognize you're just waiting for your chance to talk as opposed to having a real conversation with them. So we are all in a relationship business. Like it or not, you got to talk to people. Like introverts, I know you don't want to hear this, but you have to talk to people. You don't have to talk to a lot of people, but you have to talk to people. Um, the goal of being intentional about it, right, is understanding who you should be talking to, that where you're having a better quality of conversation as opposed to having 900 random conversations that don't go anywhere, right? So now let's start to get your head in the game. If y'all haven't seen my little mascot, that's Igo. You're gonna start seeing Igo come out a lot on the instruction side. I got cartoons and stuff coming out with him, explaining how to network and how to sell and things like that. It's kind of dope. So before you go to a networking event, before you log into a Smart Connect, um, you need to know what you're doing, why you're doing it. You need to have a good understanding of who you are before you start talking, right? What kind of energy do you want to be around? Who can you help? What problems can you solve? What is your personal brand? This is what I stand for. This is what I represent. Who do you need to connect with? What kind of energy matches yours, right? So you'll hear me say this a million times. It's not a numbers game. You are in the relationship business, but you're looking for quality relationships. right? So if you go into it with genuine intent, great things happen. You start to connect with really cool people and have great conversations, and the next thing you know, we're moving the needle, right? So the goal is to not pitch everybody that you see. Let's identify the right kind of people for the conversation and then continue to have this conversation. And now we invest the time to nurture the relationship. If you're trying to one and done every conversation, then you're only going to be able to connect with like a 0.5% of the total market's share, market space rather. So because everybody, even if they need you, and they may not need you now, even if they need you, they may not be open for the conversation now, right? And if they don't need you, they may know somebody who does need you, but we didn't make it that far into the conversation, right? So if you're having intentional conversations and understanding who you want to talk to and why, then now everything starts to make sense and it starts to become more fluid as opposed to just us bouncing around trying stuff. So when we look at the networking cycle, I really want you to spend some time prior to the event and understanding a few different things about who's going to be there and what this group is about, or do I have potential clients there, or is this an industry related thing? I'm looking for strategic partners while I'm here, whatever. But spend some time prior to the event and prepping yourself for it. During the event, you want to show up with good energy, right? And then post event, you want to make sure that you're following up um, expeditiously so that we can continue the conversations. All right. So before we get into this, I want you to know this, and I need you to hold this dear that you are already dope. You already got it. You don't need anything else. We're not making up anything. You have spent a great deal of time in learning your craft and honing your skills and becoming the person that you are. And that is more than enough for you to be great. But I need you to believe it first before you go out and try to pawn this off on everybody else and try to sell it, right? Because if you don't believe in you, it's going to be really hard for me to believe in you. And if you walk into a networking event with zero confidence, nobody is going to trust you. Everybody's going to question what you're saying. But if you are confident and believe in yourself, that kind of energy is very attractive, right? This applies to every facet of life, man. If nobody likes the guy that's shy in the corner. They like the guy that's standing up there, captain of the football team, the head cheerleader, right? They get all the attention. This is how they become homecoming queen and prom king and all that stuff. Nobody voted for the guy that was in the corner playing with a Rubik's cube. Right, right. I was the guy in the corner with the Rubik's cube. But you learn along the way that confidence is not only attractive, but it's contagious. And if you believe in yourself, then other people will believe in you. And then now we can start to do some things, right? As opposed to just talking about it, or as opposed to you trying to convince them along the way, right? So when we talk about prior to the networking event, right? Be clear on who you are. Be able to show up authentically as this person. You should not be creating an image, right? And then I'm going to try to live up to this image. This is the type of person I think people would like. Nobody will like the person that you think they would like. Zero people. But if you show up authentically within it, not everybody will like you, but the right people will like you. And this is super important. So now we can build relationships because you can't build relationships with people who don't like you. And you can't build relationships under a facade because now you got to remember the lie. This is not really me, right? If you ever watched any movie about this where somebody tried to fake it till they make it, it all crashes at some point, right? Don't put yourself in that position. Show up authentically. Understand this is who I am. This is what I'm about, right? So this is why I'm Jason Integrity. Integrity is my number one core value. I'm going to always do the right thing. If you are around me, you're going to do the right thing, or we're going to have a conversation, right? So I understand that about myself going into it. And a lot of these things come out in your personality test and stuff like that. So spend some time work and understanding who you are. And then now you can be comfortable in your own skin as you move through building your business and networking and looking for clients and everything that comes along with it. Now, as a professional, what problems can you solve? What are you an expert in? If 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 this potential client has these problems, you can hit a home run with these. I can knock that out the park. I can have that problem solved by the end of the day. What are those problems? You should really, really understand it before you network, because now this better aligns you with the conversation because as it comes up, you can start asking the right questions. Not necessarily go in for the weird clothes and try to get the client, but questions are the answers. And as you ask questions, you're going to hit a nerve because on the sales side, this is a quick sales tip. Questions are the answers because smart people ask smart questions. And as you ask questions, you're going to ask a question in a way that nobody else has asked that question because you actually know what you're doing. And that question is the key. You see the key flow? That was fantastic, Joe. That question is the key to the conversation. So it's going to unlock them understanding like, I don't have an answer for this question and I need your help. And then that's when the conversation changes because now they'll start asking you questions because now they recognize you as the expert. So it'll quickly go from you asking questions to them asking questions. And they'll say, well, tell me what you think about this. And then they'll give you the scenario, right? Now we all know who's who and we can continue the conversation. And now you are the authority, you're the subject matter expert. And you got there from asking questions, not saying, I went to Harvard, I graduated in this, and my expertise is that you don't have to talk about yourself. You just have to engage with them in the conversation, right? So going into a networking event with this understanding about yourself allows you to be 100% authentic within it. Additionally, the your digital presence is important because the minute that we're done, you should be giving them a link, a QR code. You should be sending them somewhere. Go check out my website. It should be some things to where they can go and learn more about you. These are all breadcrumbs that we're leaving because you're not going to meet somebody today and close them today. You got a 1 in 16 million chance of that happening, that you just happen to run into the person while they need you and you can earn their trust in 7 minutes and get their deals. Almost impossible, right? So let's not put ourselves in that position. Let's just focus on the person that we're talking to and have real conversations. So prior to the event, these are the things that we're thinking about, right? So within that, we understand ourselves, we understand the problems that we solve. Now, who do we want to meet? Who has the problem? What industries directly need us the most? What type of client can we talk to today and we can make a real impact? I just need to ask you a couple of questions to get an understanding of where you are. Who are these people? Right? The better you understand that, the easier the conversations are. Who are people that you can partner with? The better you understand that, the easier this is, right? And then understand who's in the room. Alignable is great at this because when you sign up for an event, it shows you everybody that's there, everybody that's signed up, right? Not saying that everyone will come, but you can literally go through the list and see if this is a person that you can help. And prior to the event, you can literally, this sales term, you can bird dog 15, 20 people at this event that could be potential clients, could be strategic partners, or you may already know some people there and you like their energy and they could be referral partners. So before you even go to the event, do your due diligence to really understand these things. The who I am and what problems you solve and getting your social media and digital presence together, that's a one-time thing. Once that's done for everything, right? You don't have to go back unless you're making updates. But once that's done, that's done. Everything else is just understanding where you're going and who's going to be there and who you can kind of uh, get your mind ready to meet. Oh, there we go. So there are, oh, wait a minute. I clicked too many times. There we go. So there are three types of relationship categories, right? Potential customers, right? So this is your target market and you understand what they need, right? Strategic partners. These are people where your businesses overlap. So you provide a service and they can be an extension of what you provide, you know, and vice versa. So if you got a client and you get them to this point, you can send them over there. One of my favorite people to work with are like social media people because I'm a sales strategist, right? So I build out the strategy. We got all the process together. The CRM is good, but I don't necessarily want to sit here with you and do all your socials. So now, once we get all of this done, now I can hand you to the social person. You get all your social things together, right? That's the perfect strategic partner for me. So, and lastly, referral partners. And referral partners is it's the most broad, right? Because this is an energy thing. Who do you like to talk to? Who do you feel good around? Who's like super popular that people like and you like them too? It's a great referral partner, right? You send them business, they send you business, and you know that they're professional and they're going to take care of the things that they said they would, right? So these are the three types of relationships you're looking to cultivate. These are the people that you're looking for in the networking event. So as opposed to going to a networking event, you're randomly talking to people about whatever comes up. Now I know what questions to ask. I know who I'm looking for. I know the type of energy I want to be around. And I'm confident in myself that I can have these conversations with anybody along the way. Most people are going to fall into one of these three categories, right? So that makes everybody in the room viable. So you can now let's see what this energy is like. Let's see if I feel good talking to you. Let me listen to my gut about that. And let me say this, your gut is always right. If you get a bad feeling about somebody, it's 100% correct.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna ask.
don't ignore it.
Wait, I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. God, you're such a great presenter. I just have one question, and I deeply apologize for interrupting you because that is
Okay.
extraordinarily rude. I can't resist. I am mildly autistic, so I'll blame it on that. Will you do some role playing with us so we can see um, maybe some examples of good networking and bad networking? And now I shall mute.
Okay. No, no, we're not going to role play. Role playing is more for elevator pitches and all of that weird stuff, right? So what we're going to do is once you're authentic, there's no role that you need to play. I just need you to be you, right? Once it's clear to you, you can just show up and be in the moment, right? And don't apologize for being autistic. It's a part of what makes you you, right? It is what it is. So some people are okay with it. Some people are not going to be okay with it. But I need you to be you 100% of the time, right? So it's super cool. I kind of like that. So now let's talk about potential customers, right? So within it, you should know who your target market is, right? And you should have broken that target market into market segments because not all of that target market thinks the same, right? So I'll use me as the example. I work with business owners, right? That's the broad scope. But I also work with solopreneurs. That's a market segment. I also work with sales teams. That's a market segment, right? And within those, these are very different conversations. So when I'm talking to a solopreneur, it's a way different conversation than I'm talking to a team. If I'm talking to someone who sells insurance, that's a way different conversation than if I'm talking to a coach, right? So although they all fall under the same umbrella, you need to be able to compartmentalize these conversations that way that you are super prepared for it. So think about your target market as a whole, and then what are your top three market segments? And then as you work on those, your conversations get better, your questions get better, and then now you can completely engage within that conversation without the weird elevator pitch because now you can make that conversation 100% about them as opposed to trying to prove to why you're great. If you try to prove why you're great, then it's going to fall flat, and people don't care if you're great because it doesn't apply to me. But while you're asking questions and it's something that I'm going through, and you can directly give me an answer to something that's stressing me, now you're super valuable, and I want more. Jump in, Mike. What's your question? Hit the mute button, Mike.
Okay. Got me now?
I got you.
Got you. Okay. I just wanted to jump in real quick. You know, you've said everything I've been thinking ever since I was born. Okay.
Okay.
Listen, uh, I've had the entrepreneurial spirit since I was delivering newspapers here in Lorain, Ohio. Listen,
Mhm.
my grandpa, you know, I always tell people find a mentor, find somebody that you admire, somebody that you respect, and you follow them. And grandpa served in World War II. He was a UDT, underwater demolition team, for those that don't know the acronym, and that's a Navy SEAL. But what he taught me is respect, but the golden rule, most of all, okay? The golden rule is extremely important in my business, all right? Now, I put up a video on LinkedIn. Steve Jobs, there was a
Wait a minute, Mike. Mike,
gentleman,
do you have a question?
yes, I do.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
coming.
Okay.
So the question is, I need people to get to know my company. I'm talking
Hmm.
about businesses.
Hmm.
And so I'm here to say that I'm open to talk to whomever wants to get to know me. So, how Can I accomplish that within the next few minutes?
You want to talk to anybody who wants to get to know you in the next few minutes?
No, I just want to reach out to them to get to know us.
Okay. Okay. So,
That's all.
so, okay, I got you. Okay. So, one, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't try to talk to everybody. If you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So this is the whole point of being intentional. It's only certain people that you need to talk to, right? And if they're completely outside of your wheelhouse and you don't have a referral for them, then there's really no point of that conversation. You're wasting everybody's time. So we'll keep going, but check out this next few points that I'm going to give you. It'll help you out. So within understanding the market segments, now you can have a deeper conversation. You can ask better questions, right? And I don't want any of you to feel like you got to talk to a million people. We were taught a lot of wrong things about sales, right? One was like it's a numbers game. You need to be making 100 phone calls a day. You're going to have to get over these objections and learn how to overcome objections. I have been through every sales training that you can get in corporate. So I remember doing a 3 week training on overcoming objections, and it was nonsense. Like, how are we in this position where everybody's telling us no? Right? We're definitely doing something wrong to end up with so many no's, right? We're targeting the wrong people. We're having the wrong conversations. So if we're looking at it to where I need to talk to as many people as we can, then you're having the wrong kind of conversation. If you're having a better quality of conversation, then your conversion rate goes up. You don't need to talk to as many people. So bad conversation, you talk to 10 people, you get one person that'll book a meeting. Good conversation, you talk to 10 people, you get 8 people that want to have a conversation. That's a 10% conversion rate compared to an 80% conversion rate. And the only 2 people that you miss with a good conversion rate is like the timing was off and they just couldn't get to you, but they'll come back later. That you get there from a better quality of conversation. And that comes from targeting the right people, being in the moment, and not looking at everybody as a prospect. Everybody is a person. So, however, we need to have this conversation, it's going to be different for you than anybody else. And if you're having that quality of conversation, it'll go swimmingly for you. Everything is better. So, now let's get into strategic partners, right? So, if you're networking and you're talking to somebody and their services are complementary to your business, now let's figure out how we can collab. Let's figure out what we can do together. Hey, let's do a workshop, let's do a webinar, let's pull some people in so that uh it we can show up as a unit and we're not necessarily doing all of these things by ourselves, right? The the dope part about this is that we all need help. You need help with certain parts of your business. And there is somebody who loves to do that part. They get up early to do that part that you hate so much. And if you can find a bunch of people who love to do the things that you don't like to do, every day is a holiday, right? And this is where the strategic partners come in. So look for ways to co-create and collab with these type of people, right? It's super dope. It makes life so much easier. And lastly, the referral partners, right? So we don't necessarily overlap. I don't see a need to buy your stuff. You don't see a need to buy my stuff, but I like how you move. I like your energy. Let's see if anybody needs what you have, you are my go-to person, right? One of the things that is most important about networking is being a resource for everybody in your network. So I may not necessarily be able to fix your problem, but I probably know somebody who can. So let me shoot you over to them. So now within that relationship, everybody wins. The person who has the problem now has a solution, right? The person in my network just picked up a new client from the referral, and I look like a genius because I put it all together. Like everybody wins, right? So this is the beauty of being a referral partner, an active referral partner, instead of just asking for referrals, right? But looking to give. Now, now that we understand the prior to the event, right? Let's talk about during the event. How should we show up, right? That's a lot to get prepared for prior to the event. There's a lot of work within that. So now during the event, show up with good energy, right? Ask smart questions. Actively listen. Your next question should come from their answer. You shouldn't have a list of questions that you like you're doing triage, right? As you're engaged in the conversation and you ask a question, they're going to give you an answer. Your next question should come from that answer. And this is how you're able to engage and dig a bit deeper, right? The understand who you're talking to. Is this a potential client? While you're having the conversation, let's see how this starts to align. Is this a referral partner? I'm not really sure, right? And most importantly, don't pitch. Don't pitch. Don't have the elevator pitch. Don't say, "Hey, I can fix that for you. I got this deal going. Let me give you this coupon." Don't do it. Not in the networking stance. You set up another meeting where you can spend more time with them and have a deep conversation about what they need and how you can help them solve the problem. Otherwise it's going to feel rushed and super inauthentic. And with all of this, the goal should be to be interested and not interesting, right? We try too hard to be interesting. Hey, listen, I do all of these great things. I've built 7 million websites, right? And I used to work for the CIA and I did all of these things. Nobody cares about any of your history. What they do care about is how they feel when they talk to you. And if they do have a problem, how you help them solve the problem. What kind of energy are you putting out? Do I even want to be around you? Let's focus on all of these things first. And if you're interested in them and you're asking them questions about what they have going on, it makes you a real person. It makes you more genuine as opposed to just waiting for your turn to talk to pitch them something. You can't connect that way, right? But if you're actually working on, let's see if we can start to build a real relationship, then the questions that you ask are leading us that way. The energy that you're putting in will multiply because they'll start putting in that same kind of energy too. And all of a sudden, we're grooving a little bit. I like talking to you. I feel like I know you my whole life. So now when you reach out to them post event for the follow-up, hey, remember we was talking about A, B, and C. Let's jump on the call. Yes, let's jump on that call because I like you. I like that conversation. And now we can move to the next step of the conversation. So when I say death of the elevator pitch. I really, really mean. Like if you have been elevator pitching, and so I'm sure somebody has trained you along the way, because I went through the same training where you should have this 3 sentence thing that you just vomit on people, right? I work with small to medium-sized businesses to do this. I need somebody to point out a small to medium-sized business. Are there small to medium-sized businesses in here? It's just business, right? So let's connect with the people. There are no businesses floating around. Let's connect with the people. You're talking to a person. Now, there has never been a time in your life where you needed a script to talk. You just show up and talk to people, right? If you're extrovert, you talk to people everywhere. You're in a grocery store, you're talking. You're in the dentist office, you're talking, right? You're standing in line at the movies, you're talking. You never needed a script. You didn't have anything already uh, created and revised to where it's like this is polished and this is what I'm going to say, right? It comes off super inauthentic and it's kind of corny at this point. Be you. Show up. If you have a question, ask a question. If you don't have anything to say, be quiet. It's okay. It's okay. We're not in the entertainment business, right? We're not comedians or nothing. It's just like, hey, how you doing? And then look for the opportunity where you can jump in, right? So if you're not trying to be interesting and you're trying to be interested, you're going to do way more listening than talking anyway, right? So why are you having these conversations and why are you trying to see what compartment these people fall in, what kind of energy they got? Do I like this person and can we work together or do they need me or do I need them? It's a lot of little things that's running around within that conversation, especially at a networking event. The last thing you should be doing is auditioning, right? And trying to put on some kind of weird show. Just be you. You are already dope. I can't tell you this enough. People are going to like you if you are just you. If you try to be somebody else, nobody will like you. Because they'll be like, hey, he acts just like that other guy. I don't even like that other guy. Right? So when we talk about networking, right, I want you to look at the conversation as energy, as life, and then we got to give it the heartbeats of it, right? So, and I use this analogy all the time when I talk about business in general, because this is why I say in the beginning, you focus on your personal brand because you have all the energy. Your business doesn't have any energy left. And as you develop your personal brand and it's clear, you can then start to apply that to your corporate brand. And eventually your corporate brand will develop a pulse and it'll have a life of its own. And then people will know the brand. But in the beginning, they'll just know you, right? So it's no different than like Steve Jobs and Apple, right? Everybody knew Steve Jobs. I didn't even know he owned Apple. And then eventually Apple was its own thing, right? And then you didn't see Steve Jobs as much. So it's the same kind of thing. So in the beginning, just be a person, right? Warm introduction. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you, right? Um, before you start to dig too deep into people's business, ask, is it okay? Ask for permission to, all right, is it okay if I ask you about this? Is this something that you want to talk about? Because they may not want to get super deep into it, right? You want to meet people where they are. And as you earn trust, then they'll go to the bottom of the ocean with you. But if they don't trust you, they don't want to tell you all of this information. I had a guy on LinkedIn send me a message and said, can you send me a copy of your portfolio? In the very first message. What? No, who are you? Like who says yes to that? It's crazy. But everything was a number to him. He was just trying to sell stuff, right? So in the very beginning, you know what he's about, right? So explore in the conversation and let's see where I can help you, right? And when I tell you this kind of energy is so dope. So if you go to a networking event and you're talking to somebody and they say, okay, well, who are you looking for? What's your audience? What kind of energy you want to be around? How do you spend your free time? You do this, and they're literally trying to figure it out. You know, I run into that kind of energy at the gym a lot. Like you ever talk to somebody at the gym, and then they ask you like what you're working on, and then they start telling you all these exercises that they've done, right? And what to do, and don't use this one, and if you're gonna use that, use this grip, and they just super into it. I love those people, right? As you explore and reflect to make sure that y'all on the same page. Don't necessarily repeat back to them verbatimly what they said, but so here's my understanding of what you're saying, right? Here's the problem. And if they say yes, you continue. And then lastly, you can offer support. So let's set a time to talk. Let's have a deeper conversation. Let's see what else we can do. And this is for potential clients, strategic partners, or referral partners. Let's continue that conversation because I like the way this feels, right? So most importantly, of everything, don't be a goofball, right? I got a whole website about this. Um, when you show up and it's just an insta pitch, don't be that person, right? If you're faking interest and you're just like, just waiting for your turn to talk, don't be that person. If you're begging for referrals, hey, listen, who do you know here that you can give me their number and don't be that person. And don't look at it as transactions, right? Well, if you do this, then I'll do that. And if they do this, then I'll do that. That's not being a real person. Let's connect as a person first, and then we can get into how all of this is going to shake out. But we have to understand that this is a customer journey. We're thinking lifetime value, right? We're not trying to sell one thing one time to one person, right? I need to connect with you. I want to expand my network. I want you to bring my name up wherever you are. Anybody that you talking to, if they need help with sales and marketing, send them to me. Anybody that I'm connected with, if they need you, I'm sending them to you. And if you're doing this with 50, 100 people, you have an extensive network and the referrals will keep coming because you are consistent and reliable, right? But if you're pitching everybody and you're just trying to make money and you're wheeling and dealing and lying and making up stuff, you're going to run into a world of problems eventually. And eventually everybody's going to figure it out because people talk. And then they're going to be like, oh, I do a goofball, man. He tried to sell me, 3 used cars and with no batteries or whatever. Now, post event, follow up quickly. If we talk today, shoot them a message. You got 24 hours to reach out, right? Not with a pitch, but just, hey, nice to meet you. It was a great conversation that we had about A, B, and C. That's it. And then allow them to reply. Right? So we don't want to go from that and all of a sudden they're in our funnel and they're getting all these automated messages because they made the mistake of trusting us with their information. So now they're getting text messages and emails from us nonstop and they didn't sign up for that. They thought you were cool. They thought you were a nice person. So continue to be that person and then look for a problem that you can help them solve. If you find that problem, then we know what path to go down, right? So if there was something that you said that you would do from it, make sure that, hey, here's that link I said that I would send to you, right? Um, this starts to earn more trust. It proves that you're reliable and consistent and you actually do what you said you were going to do. Right. And then as you have that conversation, talk about the next steps. All right, let's jump on Zoom. Let's meet for coffee, whatever it is that we're going to do next. And then we have that conversation. But the goal is to offer value, not sell something, not pitch them something, but here's the win in it for you being around me. Here's the for allowing me to be around you. Here's the win. Here's the value that I bring. Right. And the more that we do that, the easier these conversations get. And then all of a sudden people are talking about you, right? And it's like, let me pull you in on this call. Hey, you need to talk to Jason. All right. So things like that work in your favor. So if you're thinking win-win, right, as opposed to what can I sell, you start to build this relationship capital, right? Relationship capital is super valuable. Um, so when we say your authentic intent, plus you being consistent, consistency is the key to all of this. Is how you build your brand, is by being consistent. And you multiply that by mutual value. This gives you a win-win environment to where we both see the value of the relationship. We're both showing up authentically. We're both showing up consistently. Everything they said that they were going to do, they're going to do. I can build with this person. Now you've earned trust along the way. And if I can trust you, then we can go to the next thing. If I can't trust you, conversation stops here, right? Um, and this is where we should be putting the energy, right? Earning trust is the part of the process, right? And nobody trusts you 100% right off. And only based on your behavior do you start to earn the trust. Nobody cares what you say. Everybody says something. But how do you show up and what do you do consistently that makes me believe that you're going to actually do this all of the time? And if we're doing that, then we can't help but win. So now let's close the loop, right? So before the event, identify the people. During the event, understand the people. And after the event, follow through with the people. I figured like this will be like an easy way to remember it, right? So if you're doing that, then now you're networking with intention, right? And you're thinking about where you want this to go, and you can start to build a process of how all of this flows for you, because this is different for everybody. But I want to give you some stepping stones to start to build your way of doing it. So if you screenshot this, and I'm going to throw the link of this in the chat in a second, if you can't screenshot it. This is a dope conversation starter. Everything that I just said in this presentation is inside of this. This is 11 pages of what you should be doing prior, during, and post. But most importantly, how to prepare for the conversation. So all of the things in the prior, this will help you make sure that you are getting your voice together and showing up authentically and understanding who your target market is. And this it's all included in this. And I'll throw the link in the chat in just a second. And it also I have a few emails set up that's going to kind of coach you through it along the way too. It's going to ask you some questions and kind of push you a little bit. Next, if you haven't joined Deeper Networking, join Deeper Network in the alignable group. But I have another layer of Deeper if you want to come into that. And it's going to be more training like this and better conversations. And I kind of screen everybody. So you have to apply to be a part of Deeper Network. And this will get you there to where you can fill out the application. Because the goal is to make sure that we're pulling in the right kind of energy. Everybody here wants to do work and we can all vouch for each other. So that's the next level deeper. I'll throw a link to that one in the chat too. And that's it. I'm going to open it up for questions. Um, and we can hang out a little bit past 6 if we still got questions. I don't mind hanging out a little bit longer. But yeah, any questions? All right, Jerome, jump in.
No question per se. I just want to thank you for doing this, man. This is powerful. This was some powerful stuff, man. And it's just one of these things. A lot of this stuff I kind of do out of habit, by I ain't gonna say by accident, but I just naturally do a lot of this stuff, kind of already. But you
Hmm.
just basically painted a clear picture for me. I got ADHD. I could be all over the place. I know what I want to say, but sometimes it don't come out the way I want it to come out. But just this presentation just basically put all the pieces together, and I appreciate you for doing this. That's just my 2 cents. I'm gonna shut up now.
All right, no, it's good. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming, Jerome. Michael.
Yes, you're always a breath of information. I mean, I learned so much from you. And what I find is people show who they are. Even in this meeting here, the questions that you got and the way they presented themselves, I wouldn't want to meet somebody like that because that guy is pushing. He's throwing up all over me. So, I love their style. If people get it, it'll make us all so much better. So thank you.
All right, awesome, awesome. I appreciate it. Maurice.
There. So, Jason, my specific question is around the potential customer, strategic partner, and referral partner. Can someone sit in more than one bucket? And should I add a fourth bucket of repeat customer?
Well, if they're a repeat customer, then you already know them, right? So now the goal is to continue to run them through the customer journey. So if they're already a customer and now we're the whatever they're paying you for, we're doing that part. We're making sure that that's solid. While we're working with them, the goal is to turn them into a raving fan. If they're a raving fan, then they'll naturally become a referral partner too, right? So this is where the referrals, not the referrals, but the recommendations come in, right, and the reviews, and you want to send them a message to check on them even after you're done working with them. What's going on? Let me invite you to this next thing, right? But we already know them. We already got a relationship, right? So the goal is to continue to nurture that relationship so it becomes stronger. Yeah,
The
yeah,
aspect of people being in more than one bucket?
yeah, yeah. It's possible. Yeah. Yeah, but they can be in more than one bucket, but it depends on like it's situational, right? So someone can start off as a client and then they can become a strategic partner, right? Or they can start off as a
On the same
client and they
coin.
can become a referral partner, right? But they're going to start somewhere first. So wherever they are in the beginning, that's where we focus on. And then as it evolves, they just move to the next thing.
So that what I'm trying to just figure out is at the pinnacle is referral partner, or what's at what is the pinnacle? What is at the high end of the triangle?
Oh no, no, no. They're all different. They're completely different paths, right? So and this is coming from like a network and introduction thing, right? So the goal, the pinnacle, is to build a solid relationship, right? Where the trust is there, the energy is there, the reliability is there, everyone shows up, I actually like you. And when you need me, you call me. If you need something, you call me, right? And if I need something, I can come to you. The goal is to always a solid relationship. Yeah. Yeah. Michael.
Anyway, thank you very much for your presentation. You're spot on. I mean, you didn't make any mistakes.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome. Thank you.
And honestly, I come from the heart. But I want to correct something for the record. I had to answer a question basically the way I was taught.
Mhm.
Look, uh, I don't need sales. I don't need customers. I've already got that.
Okay.
What I need is business relationships. That's it, period. And I want to be able to help people as much as I can. But at the same time, I want them to know that what we do is we want to build relationships. And that's it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the name of the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shannon.
I just want to say that I think that this presentation was wonderful, and mainly because everybody know I'm an introvert. So everything that and I think sometimes people be forgetting that like introverts, it's sometimes hard for us and it's challenging for us to like show up to networking events, especially face-to-face events where you have to face all these people. But the way you broke it down as far as like like step by step, that's what I always love about the way that you do that, because now it gives somebody like me like the ability to say, okay, I can go out here, I can do this, because if I just remember step one, let me do this, and then once that's done, okay, now let me do step two, compared to everybody else just be like, just go out there and just do it. And you used to see all of us introverts in the corner. We done threw a card on the table, and we done ate our wings and our meatballs, and now we already out the door because
Yeah.
our social battery just depleted. But yeah, I wrote my notes down. So yes, kudos to you. And yes, this right here is exactly what this introvert over here needs.
All right, I appreciate that, Shannon. You know, it's difficult on the introvert side, right? Because the social battery is your social battery starts dropping as soon as you leave the house, right? Let me hurry up and get there and start talking to people so I can get back home, right? And you're kind of on the clock the minute that it goes. The what all the extroverts need to understand about introverts is that it's a different way of a thought process. It's a different way of living. Most extroverts just look at it like, well, we got work to do. Let's go do the work. I'll talk to as many people as I need to, right? But introverts work way differently. So we got to create a space where introverts can be introverted and still be a part of the conversation. And they may need to step away for a second and then come back because that's how introverts recharge. Introverts recharge alone. So an introvert mid networking event may go sit in the car for a minute, right? And then come back. You know, extroverts, we get energy from other people. So the more people that we're engaging with, the more energy we got. We can talk all day, right? But introverts don't work like that with strangers. They work like that with people that they're comfortable with, but with strangers, that social battery runs out. So if we're conscious of it, then we can kind of manage it along the way, and it's not so scary. Yeah, it's awesome, awesome. Dr. Karen.
I agree with everything you said, as always. I mean, you're one of my buddies. I just want to make a statement that I've been to many events and I don't jive with everybody. And that's completely fine. You're not going to hit a discovery call with every single person. And even if you do, it might not be the best situation. Be upfront with the person. If you know that it's not going to work out, don't push it because you being more aggressive like that can maybe be a turnoff. And it might only not just be a turnoff to that person, but it could be a trickle down effect. So just like you said, be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Don't try to be inauthentic and, just be yourself. It's really the best way to be. But thank you as
Absolutely.
always.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it's good to see you, Doc. Thanks for coming. It's funny because that goes against everything that most of us were taught about sales, right? It's just like tell them whatever you need to tell them to get the deal. But long term, it hurts you. Now, if you're working as a sales rep and none of this stuff is really yours, then that's a completely different mentality, right? You can kind of boiler room it, and that's where a lot of that culture comes from. But you're the owner of this company. You need these relationships, and you are directly attached to the brand of the company. So you can't show up and be doing all the scurvy business and then think people will respect and do business with you, right? So if it's not working, it's not working, and it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I like it, Doctor. Joe.
What's up, buddy? It is so good to see you.
Yeah, same here.
Um, I just want to point out because I saw some people in the room just couldn't figure. Hold on, let me say this correctly. When Jason was talking about relationships and building those things, I think this is. I have so many stories about Jason that I could tell, and some of them are so funny. Some of them are life changing for me. But one of the things why we bonded so hard was I went to one of his masterminds. This is, I don't know, 4 years ago, or it was a long time. I went to one of his masterminds, and there was a gentleman there who I always like to say, when you're in Rome, you should be in Rome, right? Especially if you understand where you're at. And he couldn't figure out how to be in Rome. And so so the man just kept talking during this mastermind like he was the pro, like he knew all the things, and there was a bunch of other really smart people in this room, right? And then he couldn't figure out why people didn't want to hear from him. And I think that's the thing that people miss. We share a personal joke about a private, or not a private, about a little red convertible car,
Yeah,
because
that
we
was the
know
Red Miata guy, right?
that was the red Miata guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. You know, people tend, especially when it's in these environments, right? They want to prove themselves. They want to show the world that they're smart and that they know stuff, and I'm an expert, right? And because of that ambition, you tend to try to make the conversation about you. So now every time someone talk, you have something to say, and it's like, well, my version of it is better. And it's like, well, why be that person, right? Because you're not giving yourself an opportunity to connect with people, and you're surely not showing them a reason to connect with you. Because who wants to be bullied, right? And who wants to do business with somebody that's overbearing? So in no scenario does this work out for you. But because some people get in their own way and they're stuck in their head, you just blew all of these relationships in the room. And there was a lot of people in there when this guy was doing that, right? So now you just ruined all of these relationships. Now nobody like you, and people talk. So it's like they'll go to Red Miata guy. And then somebody who doesn't know will be like, what's the Red Miata guy? And then now we're going to tell them. And then it's going to spread and spread and spread. And it's like now you are ruined, right? Your personal brand is ruined. So we have to be conscious of our effect on our business, even inadvertently, right? The talking too much is a bad thing. Being in the wrong place is a bad thing. And like it's certain things that I can't do if my brand is integrity. I can't go over there with those guys doing that stuff. Right? It's gonna ruin my brand, right? If there's any kind of shady deal that's like, well, yeah, we're gonna make it up to them on the back end, but that's not quite clear. I can't do that deal. We have to be upfront about it. It'll ruin my brand, right? So we have to be conscious of who we are and the position that we have, and how this interaction will affect that. And it only takes one time, and now you have to rebuild. Will Smith has to be the best example of this. Will Smith was like the number one guy in Hollywood, like the pinnacle of good guy. One bad decision killed his brand, killed it in that one moment, right? So we have to be conscious of all of these things as we are building along the way, especially when we're the owner of the company. This is why when you see the guys like you don't see Jeff Bezos at too many places, right? You just, hey, I heard Jeff Bezos was there. Yeah, he was there for like 10 minutes and he left. That's why. uh, do we have any other questions? Anybody else want to chime in? Melissa.
I have to make this 5 minutes. I know I'm late. Hi, Dr. Karen. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a line of work. But I just want to chime in a little bit. I know we talked about, I heard about extrovert and introvert. I'm an ambivert, right? I have a balance of both, right? I have a very selective, I'm in the position of selective connection, just like what you said. It has to be intentional, right? You cannot be for everybody. Not everybody it will be your client, right? But Dr. Karen, every time I see her in any alignable anything, we just like say hi as if we know each other for a long time. But it's just the energy, right? So you see he's positive. So just be authentic, right? And if you don't feel like talking to somebody beside you, don't just say hi. Simple, just be civil, because people will feel your energy anyway if it's true or fake, right? So that's why I say even though Dr. Karen she's the person I know in this group that we always just bump into each other, and we never even talked about business. We just say hi. It's just so much energy in us that it's just clicked. Right. So it's because it's authentic. Right. So I think that's what I normally advise to people. You don't need to be for everybody, but authenticity will give you the authority to be with everybody, so that's all I can say. Thank you.
That's it. That's it. I love it. I love it. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, yeah. You're not for everybody. And we have to be realistic about it. Like you don't even like everybody. There's a lot of people that you don't like. There's a lot of people that you don't want to be around, right? So other people will feel the same about you. It's just a part of it. But how people feel about you is none of your business. They can feel however they want to feel. But what is my business is the relationships that I'm putting together, the people that I'm trying to grow with. That's what I care about. Why would we spend energy worrying about people who will never do business with us? You can be as mad as you want to be over there, like whatever. uh, that's dope. Um, any other questions before we get out of here? All right, we right at time. All right, fantastic. Listen, thank you all for coming. Make sure you get the download. There's a bunch of dope information in there. That's gonna be fantastic. I look forward to any of your feedback on how that helps you. We got more trainings like this happening in Deeper, so make sure that you join the group for that. Other than that, go out here and be safe, get some rest because it's starting to get late now. Eat some food, and we will see you at the next event. But thanks for coming, everybody.
Jason.
Hoorah, soldier.
Hoorah.
Thanks, Jason. This was great.
All right, thanks for coming.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Very informative.
Thank you so much, Jason. That's a wonderful one.
Say that
I've
again.
been waiting. I said that's a wonderful one. I've been waiting
Oh,
to attend your, sessions,
all
and
right.
we've been in alignable, and I really like your way of, it's an easy and a straight way of saying it, and I like that.
All right, cool, cool. Thanks for coming. I'm glad you like it. I'll be looking for you at the next one.
Definitely, I would.